Hey YouTube land, welcome once again to another action figure review. Now this is a review for a new, as of 2022, Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Legacy Collection, or otherwise known as the Jurassic Park The Lost World Isla Sorna Capture Pack. So what this set includes, I have it just sitting in the box the way it comes with a couple of slight alterations. The missiles were the missiles that fire from this are up here, and the Roland Tembo figure is actually behind the plastic here. And you don't get this extra guy. I just have him sitting here for demonstration purposes for when I get to look at the vehicle itself. But overall, it comes in this open window style box packaging. So it's completely open. There's no the only thing that's kind of protected is the Roland Tembo figure, the Paracelodon, and the vehicle itself is open. The other thing that's behind the plastic protection is the missiles. But other than that, now there is some assembly required and disassembly required. The vehicle has these two things here, which were pegged in here, and there's screws underneath that you untab, and there's a pull tab on the box. I'll show that in a minute. I'm just going to move everything off to the side and I'll go through the packaging, so bear with me a moment. So as you can see, this thing just rips open. You have this nice kind of wood landscape, and you have this kind of dirt ground thing for the bottom of the box. And then this is what I'm on about. There's this big tab that you pull open, and then these things are pushed in underneath. I'm not sure if you can see that. They're pushed in underneath and they lock the vehicle in place. So you have to undo that to take them out. And if I flip around to the back of the box, so it just has the Isla Sorna capture set with Roland Tembo, Paracelodon, which I believe is a juvenile version, not the adult version. You have a sliding seat, you have a launching thing, shows a couple of other dinosaurs in the Legacy line. So there is another Legacy Velociraptor that's come out, which is based on the one with the twisting body, and it's based on the Lost World. There's I'm not sure the name of it. I'm trying to remember the name. It's one of the ceratopsians. Now, I do have it. I don't have it with me at the moment, but as far as I know, I don't recognize it from any of the Jurassic Park films, even though a lot of the Legacy stuff is based on dinosaurs and vehicles and creatures from Jurassic Park franchise. I don't recognize that particular ceratopian. And then the other one is a Pachycephalosaurus, which is again one that we've had before. It's the one with the domed head. This is again supposed to be based on the one from the Lost World, the Jurassic Park Lost World film, where they capture it with the the mercenaries, or the guys, the InGen mercenaries capture it. But the box is pretty much straightforward. It's open box window, and there is the data apps thing for the dinosaur. So if I just get everything back in place, we'll go through things pretty quickly. Now I'm just going to bring my camera in a touch. Hopefully it won't be too much. You'll be able to see the stuff. So I'll get the figure out of the way first, the Roland Tembo figure. He's actually a really well done, nicely sculpted figure. He has the same articulation as the previous Legacy line. He doesn't have the new articulation that the Hammond series collection figures will be getting. So he is a little bit different in articulation in that respect. He does have the swivel head, like all the normal figures. He has a soft, good sort of rubber jacket for his overshirt. His arms can swivel all the way around, can hinge up that way. He has a single joint elbow with a swivel. Nothing in the wrist. That's where the kind of Hammond collection figures come in. They have like some of them have replaceable hands. Some of them have like a twist in the wrist. They have the ankle articulation, whereas these ones don't. He has splits that much. His jacket does get in the way a small bit. Mine does have a slight, I wouldn't say paint blemish, because this is actually painted, or The pants part is actually painted. The legs are cast in the skin tone, so there's a bit of paint rub on mine already. You can see the top there of the pants. It's kind of hard to see it when he's in the packaging, so I've only literally just noticed it now. He does have forward kick, back not so much. He does have single jointed knee with a swivel. He has the sculpted boots. Again, as I said, no articulation in the ankles because that's the way the Legacy line figures are. So if I just bring in another Legacy figure, because it's a Lost World figure, I just need to readjust that. Sorry about that. This is the Ian Malcolm. Now, this is the Jurassic Park version of Ian Malcolm, not the Lost World version of Ian Malcolm, but you can see they do stack up quite nicely together. I don't know if we're going to be getting a Legacy version of the Lost World Ian Malcolm. More than likely, I have a feeling that the Hammond Collection one will be the kind of standard replacement for that. So most people will probably end up getting the Hammond Collection version of Ian Malcolm. Overall, oh, he does have a waist swivel as well. I should mention that because all these figures have the old waist swivel. He doesn't come with any accessories, from what I can see. It would have been nice if they had included his rifle. For those that know the film, he takes on a Tyrannosaur single-handedly, practically. So it would have been nice if they included that kind of rifle that he used in that scene. Unfortunately, they don't give him that. Hopefully, we might see his kind of, wouldn't say accomplice, his partner. His buddy that came with him in the film called I think it was AJ or RJ. I think it's RJ. Hopefully we might get a figure for him as well. But we'll go on to the vehicle. So I'm just going to take the mercenary I have sitting here, just take him out for the moment. The vehicle is nicely done. It has some, it's fairly basic on paint apps. It's not overly done. Like, it has this camo pattern on the vehicle. So this part is cast in the green that this is painted. So it's really just painted here and here. And the same on the reverse side. It's just painted here. Then you got the InGen logo, which is a paint application. Anything else, like these headlamps, this display on the thing, and the lights are actually stickers. All these headlamps are actually stickers. There's no actual paint apps for those. Again, you have an InGen logo paint app on the bonnet. But it's fairly minimalistic on paint apps. The seats are molded in the plastic, in the black plastic, and attached in. The dashboard is molded in that kind of gunmetal grey plastic. You have a jerry can on the back that isn't really painted. It's done in the same green as the base body. It's non-removable as well. It's not a separate piece. You actually have storage for the missiles, which is a nice nod. They didn't give you get 3 missiles, and it's not a case where you just have well, I say missiles, they're supposed to be tranquilizer darts, I'm assuming. So the way this thing works, there's 2 buttons. So you have a button to spring out the seat, which is on the side here. I'll show that a bit better because it's a little bit off camera. This panel here is the button for extending out the seat, and then there's a button, if I just lift up here, for firing a missile. And if you press the button, it fires out the missile. Unfortunately, it did not tranquilize the dinosaur. Let me try that again. So see if we can knock over the dinosaur. It did hit, but it didn't do anything. So the way the missile goes in, if I just find where it landed. So there is a kind of T shape on the missile. So you have 2 sides, 2 bits that come out at the side and an extended piece at the bottom. So it only goes in the one way. And then there's the clip where the actual spring connects on. So it's a bit hard to see, but there is a corresponding design on the inside of the missile part. So if you push it in that way, it locks into place. You can then push that back in, and it's all locked and loaded, and then you just press the button and it extends out again. Now in the film it was kind of different. The seat just extended out, and it was the guy sitting in the passenger's seat had like a tranquilizer dart gun, so it's not completely movie accurate. They just added that kind of extra feature as a bonus. Now you can get Roland into a seated position. You can have him sitting in the extending chair. On the packaging, it shows him in the extending chair, firing the dart, or the tranquilizer dart, or whatever you want to call it, missile dart, the projectile. So he can hold on to the steering wheel if you want him to. One thing that's interesting as well is there's a spare tire in the front, which actually does roll around as well. It rolls quite nicely. And then, as I said, if you have any of the mercenary figures, you just have to bend his legs a little bit. He can get in there and get him to seat. In fact, I have a couple of my mercenaries. This is one I customized with armchair. I bought a bunch of these and I did just a few slight customizations on them, just with different hair and stuff like that. There is a rear seat. This is a custom I did using a Alan Grant figure. I actually ended up with two of them. When I ordered one figure from eBay, I actually ordered the Muldoon figure, and the seller sent me an Alan Grant instead, even though it should have been Muldoon, and they never corrected that. So you just get them in. You can actually seat 4 figures into this thing quite nicely. Again, as I said, the 2 in the back are custom figures, but you can fit 4 figures in this quite nicely. Hopefully that means we might be getting more figures in this wave. As in, like, we might get, oh, what's his name? The guy from InGen that takes over from Hammond and brings him along. I can't remember his name. But he's the guy that brings him to the island. And it would be nice if we got him and a few of the other kind of notable mercenary characters. One interesting detail on this thing, I'm not sure if it's part of the design or it's possible that they're going to be doing something else with it. There's this kind of indent, like a cup holder, just here. Now, it could mean that they might be doing another version of this with something else that plugs in here, and maybe has a crane with a snare on it or something like that. I don't know. It does extend out, or it doesn't extend out, sorry, with the seat. So it doesn't, the Jeep doesn't actually have a gear stick either, which is interesting. But overall, it's quite nicely done. And if I just bring in one of the Jeeps from the previous Legacy line, this is the gas-powered Jeep from the first Jurassic Park film. So this new one, oh, let me just back up my camera a bit so you can see it. This new one is actually a slight bit longer. If I just get them bumper to bumper, it's kind of hard to see with this angle. So if I maybe just tilt it a bit. There we go, that's a bit better. You can see the new one is actually a little bit longer. They're about the same width. So if I just bring in my tape measure, it's about 4 inches in width. I'll just do a lengthwise measurement on this. So from the tip of the front bull bar to the back is about 10 inches thereabouts. Or if I bring in the old one, the tip to the front bull bar and the back is only about 8.5. So there is a difference. Unfortunately, my first Jurassic Park one is a bit dusty. But you can see they even use the same kind of things with the stickers for some of the applications that, you know, the headlights, stuff like that. Very similar. The only thing they didn't do is the Jurassic Park logo on the original Jeep is a sticker, whereas the InGen logos on this appear to be painted on. So there is that. Again, these ones can fit about 4 figures as well, depending on how many figures you have. But that is that, and we shall move quickly on to the last aspect of the set before I go any further into this. So the Paracelodon, or Paracelodon, which I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, I'm probably butchering the name, knowing me, is one of the dinosaurs you see them capture in the Lost World. Now this one looks very underscale compared to the one that you see in the movie. This one could be a juvenile. It does have, I just pull this up, it does have that facts app scan thing. So if you want to pause the video and scan that, you can. It's fairly limited on articulation. It's about on par with what we had in the old attack back line. So you just have the head that moves up and the head kind of rotates side to side. There's no neck swivel or anything like that. It just goes up and down. I do like the paint applications. It's very nice paint applications. It's kind of airbrushed on kind of browns and kind of tans and stuff. So it is quite nicely done. The front arms just kind of move forward and back, and the legs just rotate forward and back. There is a sort of tail swivel, but it just looks odd when you start moving it because of the way the cut is. And you have the good old JP logo on the bottom. So if I bring in one of the previous ones, now this I believe is the Camp Cretaceous Paracelodon. You can see the size difference. This one is probably more akin to the size of the one that was in the movie, in the Lost World movie, because it's actually quite a large creature that you see them taking down. So you have it's a fairly young juvenile one, if at most, I would say. But I do like the colorings a bit more on this one than on the Lost World, or on the Camp Cretaceous one. I think this is Camp Cretaceous. It could have been the one that was released just before Camp Cretaceous, because I think the Camp Cretaceous one has a more red, bioluminescent kind of crest on the head. So I think it's just the, what were they called? I think it wasn't Attack Pack, it's Fearsome Strike or something along those lines. So this one just has like a 2-button slash attack, or yeah, kind of headbutt and slash tail whip attack. But just get into the figures again so you can see this scale next to the Paracelodon. Again, I am probably butchering the name. So you can see the human figures do seem to be a little on the smaller side. They stand just a little shy of the height of this thing compared to the other one behind it. So just bring in my tape measure once more before I wrap this video up. So the height of this one to the crest would be about 4.5 inches, depending on which way you have the head. The head in this more neutral pose is 4.5. If you have the front piece up, you probably get, yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference depending on which way you have the head. And then for the snout to tail is just shy of 8 inches. So it's not a huge dinosaur compared to the other one, because if I just bring in the other one behind it is about nearly 12 inches in length. So you have a good bit of difference in length between the older version and then this version. Overall, this is probably a must get for most Jurassic Park fans, because this is the first time we're getting a Roland Tembo figure in this scale. The previous versions were only the Kenner ones, as far as I know, which were the 5.5 scale, which was the old Jurassic Park Kenner line scale. They did have a Roland Tembo in that, although the likeness wasn't as good. The likeness on this one for Pete Postlethwaite, the actor who portrayed him, is actually quite good. It's very dead on. In fact, if I just bring it up to the camera, it looks pretty much dead on from all angles, which is kind of an interesting thing, because sometimes the actor likenesses on some of these legacy figures have been kind of hit and miss. Oh, he does have 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet, just in case you want to get some sort of stand for him. But overall, very nicely done set. I do recommend picking it up if you can find it. It should be hitting store shelves now at the time of this recording, and it should be available online as well. And as I said, I'm hoping to do more Jurassic World figure reviews, be it either the Dominion figures themselves or more these legacy collection stuff. And if I can get my hands on, which they haven't appeared anywhere yet for sale, as far as I know, is the Hammond collection stuff. But if I can get my hands on the Hammond collection, I will be reviewing some of those as well. So there you go, guys. I hope this video was entertaining and enjoyable. And please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you can, please hit the subscribe button to help grow my channel as well. Cheers, guys.